The Galwan Trigger, that's the question that we're asking and trying to decode and understand. Because India's borders and how we guard our borders, these are some things people in the military sphere or the foreign diplomacy spheres often talk about. How much successive governments have done for the far-flung and remote areas is also a parameter of judging how important foreign policy and action is to a ruling dispensation. Here, the elephant in the room is in the shape of a dragon, and the Indo-China relations and the sour taste it has been leaving is nothing new, especially for Indians. Now, the China looming on India and Prime Minister Modi's rising stature in the South Pacific is also a plus point for Team India. But the Galwan clash 3 years ago has really come as a shock. And from a stray and aloof perspective on border development, today things are a tad bit different. India has doubled the speed of road and border area development, 100% increase in about 2 years if statistics were to be believed. And let me tell you, building roads and infrastructure at 16,000, 17,000, 18,000 feet and the geographical challenges the Himalayan region comes with is no easy task. Against the Chinese topography, fairly easy to build on a plateau, and that is exactly why India is playing catch-up with China. But better late than never. Umling-La, the Siom Bridge, the Sela Tunnel, and the Vibrant Villages program are examples of how India is spearheading its focused border infrastructure development, how difficult it is to build something like a tunnel, build something like a highway or like a proper road at 16,000, 17,000 feet. What are some of the challenges, something like the border roads, the government, the border roads organization, what do they have to go through? I mean, you've got the seismic tension. There are so many other factors involved as well.
You have said it right yourself. The roads in plains and roads in mountains are two different activities together. And when we make roads in mountains, firstly, there's no passage for the traffic. You have to contend with the normal traffic of the locals, the tourists, and the army. And more than that, when we make roads at altitudes of 14,000, 15,000, or maybe 19,000, where Umlingla was made, the atmospheric pressure reduces to 50%, the oxygen level goes to 45%, and the Umlingla, as you mentioned twice, is even higher than the Siachen Glacier. It is even higher than both the base camps of Mount Everest. And people used to bleed through their noses, and it also causes a lot of temporary physical problems when you are working at that kind of a height. And not only humans, it also affects the efficiency of the machines. They also start working at a efficiency of 40% or maximum 50%. So it was a big challenge to make road at Umlingla, and such like roads are being made now also when we are speaking. Alternate connectivity to DBO and CDFD road in Ladakh, they are all above 17,000 or 18,000 feet. So we face a lot of physical challenges caused due to the terrain and the weather, and also the machine problems. If any breakage is there, breakdown is there, then you have to immediately either replace the machine or maybe do the repair on site. So all these challenges make making roads in the mountains very, very difficult.
Well, absolutely. That's quite eloquently put. Now, Lieutenant General, coming to my next question, which is that, across the documentary, it has been put forth that we had the erstwhile Defense Minister A.K. Anthony on the documentary. He's on record for saying that, we've for so many years, had such an aloof perspective towards the border regions. We feel like if we develop the border roads, the first thing China is going to do is use those roads itself to come in and attack us, in a scenario of a war. But today things seem to be a little different. What has made that change, turn into a reality? What do you think is the reason behind that? You see all the other developed nations, their borders are spick and span, they're quite proper, and we don't have our army personnel going to the border regions only at a time of a calamity or at a time of a problem. They're stationed there in all those developed nations. Our army people are properly stationed all across the borders. What do you think has acted as a catalyst in this change?
You see, you mentioned about ex-defense minister, how the thinking was there about the roads being made on the forward locations, especially on the borders, northern borders.
Right.
But with the present government of the day, the thinking has really taken a 180-degree change. The inflection point was 2015 or 16 when we started thinking differently on making roads on the borders. And today we are making roads on the borders and to connect all the posts and the villages which have been isolated or remote villages, what you are also showing now on your visuals. So
Right.
this thinking has really changed the methods and our techniques to make roads and connect all these remote villages and the army posts which were not connected earlier.
You know, when we're looking at how last mile connectivity can be bettered for the armed forces in the years to come, I mean, in the documentary, you're on record saying that the last 5, 6 years, there is a magnanimous change in how our viewpoint towards border infrastructure has completely changed. But in the next coming 5, 6 years, how do you think the last mile connectivity, especially for the armed forces, can be bettered further?
I'll just give you one indicator or example.
Right?
On 22nd October 22, Honorable Prime Minister decided to come to Mana. Mana is the first village, as he called that day, to inaugurate two of the major strategic roads himself from Mana to Mana Pass and from Joshimath to Malari. And that shows the intent of the government when Honorable Prime Minister himself comes to a place and he stayed with us in that lowest detachment of BRO, and how important it is for him to do the shilanyas of these two roads. And such like roads are now increasing by the day. And in next 5 years, I think the differential which has been existing in our minds, firstly, and also on the borders is going to be bridged, and there will not be any parity. The kind of push and the budget which is being given by Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Raksha Mantri, wherever he goes, he talks about the good work of BRO in connecting these remote places, not only for the armed forces, but also for the local population. There are villages which have not been connected to its tehsil or district, like Huri in Arunachal, which he gave example, and Honorable Prime Minister just very recently tweeted about this village where reverse migration has started because of BRO making a road till Huri, which had a population of 200, which dropped to 49 since last 2 years back. But today the population has increased to 300. There is a school which has come up. There is a primary health center which has come up. So, and the roads are going ahead of Buri. So, such like examples like in Jolingong, Demchok, and the southernmost part of the country in Camel Bay, Indra Point has been connected to Shastri Nagar. So, such like examples which are being connected by the BRO are living testament of the intent of the government. And in next 5 years, there will be a revolutionary changes in the way we are making roads. The new technology is being infused in making roads, in tunnels, in bridges, in airfields. Government has just announced the construction of airfield at Neoma, which is going to be one of the highest airfield, which is in Ladakh at 14,000 feet or so. So there is a commendable change which is going to be happening in next.
Lieutenant General, if I could butt in, and my apologies for interjecting here. When we're talking about development, means people are again going to start coming up to these far-flung areas. Remote villages that are quote-unquote considered dead are trying to be revived now. But with the revival of these villages, it means that, you just spoke about a new school coming up. A new school means a lot more traffic as well. A lot more traffic means putting more burden on these, small slip roads. Do you think we can afford to put that kind of burden? Are our roads well versed with the kind of load that's coming their way?
When we make a road, it is meant for, as I told you about the weakest link in a road is a bridge. So when we are making the bridges as class 70, so the roads also will take on any kind of load which comes on the road. And let me also tell you, road is the backbone of all the development. When the road comes, the communication comes, the electricity comes, the water comes, the education comes, the tourism comes. So everything mounts on the road. And roads, when connected to the remotest villages all the development is reaching those people which were denied this development, and the central government schemes were not reaching these people. Unfortunate part was today they are connected through the road, so there is a law and order. There's no government governance actually on these places. Today, when we connect these roads, the central government schemes, the state government schemes are reaching the last man on the first villages, which are we call in PP2, Lamang, Geling, TCC, Taksing, all these villages which are there, Joningong, Damchok. The central government is able to reach out to these people who are left out of the development which is taking place in the plains.
It is an uphill task, but India is getting there. Lieutenant General Rajeev Chaudhary, all I can say right now is that kudos to you, the BR, the Border Roads Organization, to your entire team, the way with which border infrastructure is being done. It's absolutely commendable. All I can do is give you a grand old salute, sir. That's all I have for you right now. Many thanks for joining us here on News 9.
Thank you very much. I must also, on behalf of all the Karamyogis of BRO, as I call them, who are doing selfless work on these difficult places. They are unsung heroes, and they are connecting all the people who live on these borders, and all the ghost villages which were there. They have started getting populated again. So I thank you for giving this visibility to BRO, and of course, I also thank the government of the day. I also thank Honorable Raksha Mantri, Honorable Prime Minister, who have reposed trust and faith in BRO, which was not there earlier. Today, BRO is one of the shining organization of the country, and it is as Honorable Raksha Mantri says, it is not brought to the people, it is not brought to the security forces, it is brought to the nation. So we would like to live up to the expectations of the country, the government, and the security forces. Thank you very much.
Sir.
Jai BRO.
True brothers to the nation. True brothers to the nation. Many thanks for joining with us